Next on Worcester News tonight, the first case of West Nile virus is confirmed in Worcester. What the city says they're doing to stay ahead of the issue. Plus, thousands are gearing up for this weekend's PanMass challenge. A Shrewsbury woman is riding for her cousin who's battling leukemia. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Brittany Schaefer. A beautiful and sunny summer-like day in the city Friday. Temperatures still in the 80s but with less humidity. And if you have any weekend plans, it looks like you're in luck. Let's get a first look at our local forecast for more.
Good evening, I'm meteorologist Pamela Gardner. Across Worcester County, we're going to have a beautiful evening. Clear skies, 78 degrees by 7 o'clock. We're in the 70s through 9 o'clock, but dry air in place after a gorgeous, picture-perfect Friday afternoon in August. We don't get a lot of these days with low humidity here. A few clouds by 11 o'clock rolling in and temperatures in the 60s, and overnight will stay in the 60s. Though some of the suburbs could fall into the low 60s and upper 50s. Wind from the south-southwest will help to elevate temperatures across the southern half of New England. That's also going to help to elevate our humidity levels, and that may support a chance for a pop-up shower or storm in the heat of tomorrow afternoon. So we do have that thunderstorm icon for Worcester, for Fitchburg, for Lowell, and even up through Jaffrey, but very few and far between for those pop-up storm chances. I'll show you the hour-by-hour timing coming up in your full forecast, plus we'll check out the weekend outlook and the following weekend now showing up in Worcester's exclusive 10-day.
Thank you, Pamela. West Nile virus is detected in mosquitoes in Worcester. Central Mass Mosquito Control Project is working with the city to spray down neighborhoods close to where it was detected. Residents are reminded to take preventative measures to protect themselves. Our Chandler Walsh joins us live now in Worcester. Chandler.
Brittany, the Department of Public Health confirms West Nile and mosquitoes collected on the east side of Worcester near Plantation and Hamilton Streets. The city says it can it's more likely to infect people over the age of 50, but it can infect people of all ages, though no human cases have been found. The city of Worcester confirms its first case of West Nile virus in mosquitoes this summer. The city's medical director, Dr. Michael Hirsch, is reminding people to protect themselves when going outdoors with EPA-approved repellent and long clothing.
I know it's hard in the hot weather to wear, long clothes and be hot, but if you're going to be out, try not to do the dawn and dusk thing, because that's where they really thrive.
Central Mass Mosquito Control has been testing mosquitoes since summer started and say the wet weather has made an impact.
Spring has been relatively wet. Summer has also been relatively wet. So we have seen some species come back to either record or near record levels.
They'll be spraying a targeted area on the east side of the city where West Nile was found.
The spray program is designed to minimize mosquito populations after they've hatched. We do the spraying after sunset when mosquitoes are most active. People can stay in their homes and reduce the exposure from this pesticide.
Hirsch says most people who test positive for West Nile don't notice symptoms. For those who do, he says symptoms are flu-like. More serious cases are rare and occur in people with compromised immune systems.
Those are the kind of cases that we like to have evaluated so we can test your blood and we can see that you've been infected.
The city's mosquitoes are also tested for Triple E and Zika, but none have been positive. Hirsch says there have been no human cases of West Nile so far this year. There was one in 2018.
It was an elderly gentleman. He did well, but he definitely had it, and he recovered.
The city also recommends removing any standing water from around your home where mosquitoes could breed. People can opt out of spraying on their streets on the city's website. Live in Worcester, Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
A Leicester police officer is doing okay Friday after a close call while working detail. The officer was struck by a vehicle's side mirror Thursday evening on Main Street. The driver did not stop. State police later found the car and arrested Patricia Mooney. Police also discovered she was driving while under the influence of alcohol. Police in Blackstone are trying to find out who is responsible for killing a cat. The cat was shot by an arrow on Old Mendon Road last night. Alicia Palumbo has the details.
He was walking up to me meowing.
Donald Ingersoll and Braylon Allen's 8-year-old cat Lily was coming inside their Blackstone home around 6:30 Thursday night when they realized something was very wrong.
I opened the slide door and he was walking up the steps, and I heard something hitting the steps.
Blackstone police say the cat had been shot by this foot-long arrow.
Through a rib, through maybe his stomach or lung, and it went out the other side, but it was in him.
And despite rushing him to the vet, Lily had to be put down. Now the couple fears for the safety of their other cat and their 3-year-old daughter.
I don't even want to think about leaving, bringing Maisie outside and she's in the yard, and it's just like stuff like that scares me now, and it shouldn't, that somebody like that's around.
It's also scary for people who walk this bike path and play in this playground just steps from where Lily was likely shot by the arrow.
I think that's horrible. Why would anybody ever want to do anything like that to a poor defenseless animal? I can't imagine.
So somebody had to come real close to that cat to really hit it, because there are not that many people, I've done some hunting, who are good with a bow and arrow.
Considering I have 3 cats, I think that's absolutely disgusting. I hope the person gets prosecuted to the full extent.
Blackstone police say the arrow was possibly fired by a crossbow. They're asking anyone with any information on this crime to give them a call. In Blackstone, Alicia Palumbo, Worcester News Tonight.
Oxford police are asking for the public's help identifying someone they say may have used counterfeit money. Police shared these surveillance photos on their Facebook page. They say the man passed counterfeit money. It appears he was driving a new, darker model SUV. If you have any information on the man's identity, you are asked to call Oxford police. Now to an update on a story we first brought to you earlier this week. Dudley police say they've made 2 arrests following an armed robbery at a gas station in town. Police say they arrested 2 juveniles, both 16 years old, from Connecticut. 1 male and 1 female are facing charges in connection to the armed robbery at the Patriot Gas convenience store. They are also facing charges for similar incidents in Connecticut where they were arrested. Evidence was recovered, including clothing, masks, and a silver and black pellet pistol. They're due back in Massachusetts at a later date to face the armed robbery charges. Rising burial costs across central Massachusetts are a concern for several funeral homes. Last week, funeral directors in Millbury brought their concerns to the Board of Selectmen. In Worcester, funeral director Barbara Kazmierzak says she's noticed increased costs as well. She says costs in urban environments like Worcester have been higher for a while. Meanwhile, in the suburbs have been more stagnant with their charges. She says that's because service requests are changing. The costs are changing with it.
It's recognizing that somebody is providing that service. People have large equipment. They have to have licenses to perform that job. They have to do it properly, so they have to be somewhat trained. And it's not a lot of room for error in cemeteries because of how they're constructed. They're close and they're tight, so you have to dig properly and be careful.
In Millbury, selectmen are set to revisit the issue at their meeting August 13th. A central Massachusetts woman is riding her bike nearly 200 miles this weekend. She's taking part in the 40th PanMass Challenge, helping to raise money for cancer research. She says she's been touched by cancer in many ways and wanted to do something to help. Our Olivia Lemon joins us live now with her story. Olivia?
Brittany, Marissa Pizzeri is riding for her cousin Hannah. She was diagnosed with leukemia last summer. Marissa is one of 6,700 people participating in the PanMass Challenge. Marissa Pizzeri is gearing up for her first PanMass Challenge.
It's always been something that I've wanted to do. I recently got into biking, probably like a few years ago.
The 21-year-old Shrewsbury woman is riding for her cousin Hannah. She was diagnosed with leukemia last summer and is now cancer-free.
That was kind of an extra push to do something for this cause, and it's just a really great opportunity, and I'm excited to take it on.
More than 6,700 riders will participate in the 40th PanMass Challenge this weekend. Riders can choose from 12 routes. Pizzeri is riding from Wellesley to Provincetown.
It's 161 miles total, so I'll start in Wellesley and finish in Bourne tomorrow, and then on Sunday I'll ride from Bourne to Provincetown.
All riders have a common goal of raising a record-breaking $60 million for the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute.
So far, Pizzeri has raised close to $3,000 of her $5,000 goal.
I'm going to keep fundraising after this event too to reach my goal.
Pizzeri says training for the event has been a challenge, but she's ready.
Literally, as I'm riding and I'm on that bike, I'm like, this is literally nothing compared to someone receiving chemo or going through surgery or something to help with their cancer treatment. So that just like gives me the extra motivation to keep on going and keep pushing.
And the PanMass Challenge says riders range from ages 13 to 88 years old. Opening ceremonies kick off tonight in Sturbridge. Olivia Lemon, Worcester News Tonight.
Worcester Polytechnic Institute is working on life-changing technology in a new prosthetic device. WPI professor Ted Clancy is teaming with local experts to develop wireless sensors. The goal is for people with limb absence to be able to control their wrist and hand prostheses at the same time. Clancy has been working on the project for about 5 years and says there have been many challenges along the way.
The biggest challenge actually is for a good fit to hold the socket and prosthesis onto the user. So what's happening in the field is the sockets, which you can see here with a lot of sensors inside, the sockets are going to go away, and instead there will be direct connection to the bone. When that direct connection occurs, there's no place to put all these sensors that are actually used to control the hand, open and close it. So we're making the wireless sensors that enables this technology to attach directly to the bone.
This is not only my study. I really hope that to use my work to help them to change their life.
Clancy is teaming up with a local prosthetic company and occupational therapist with limb absence. Debbie Latour was born without her right arm from her forearm to her hand. She says this technology will make a world of difference for people with limb absence.
Some might say making a difference is incredibly important to each and every one of us on this team. If we can help to make someone's life easier, if we can help people to enjoy the activities that are meaningful to them, if we can help people to be able to engage socially in public with better control of their prosthetic technology, that means that they're likely to be less isolated. And ultimately, again, that translates to an improved quality of life.
Clancy says their goal is to get the work into a prototype prosthesis in the next 6 to 12 months. The Family Health Center hosts their annual neighborhood health fair to celebrate National Health Center Week. Thousands participated in the event on Queen Street. The health fair offers a farmers market, physical and mental health informational booths, a Red Sox showcase, and much more. Family Health Center of Worcester CEO Lou Brady says it's a great day for the community to come together.
Opportunity for the community to come together and figure out together how to address the real needs that lead to poor health, and so we can strengthen folks. And collaboration is really the key to people's good health, that you can't solve all problems in an exam room.
The Family Health Center of Worcester has been putting on the neighborhood health fair for more than a decade.